Welcome back, and today we are playing not Atomic Thunder but the XP-55, which is probably the closest thing we're going to get for now, because it didn't get hit by quite a nuke, but definitely a hydrogen bomb. The flight performance of the XP-55 has been changed a little bit, and I'll show you right on the screen what the differences are. These graphs are provided by StatShark. You don't need to know them all too well, you just need to realize that the higher line is the better line. And when we look at these sustained turns, take it with a grain of salt. The props are not perfect on this calculator, but when you compare its own plane against itself, you get a pretty good representation of what you have lost. And you can mostly see that the sustained rate by the dotted lines is about the same once it settles in, but you can tell that it tapers off a lot quicker. And then we have the straight line, the filled in line, and that is exactly where the hydrogen bomb has hit. The drag values have been changed, the wing loading has been increased, which is a bad thing. So overall the plane has been hit by the nerf hammer, but it's still far from unplayable. It's still pretty decent. Now it's not my main pick anymore to tell people, yo bro, pick up the XP-55 with my 3% discount where you get my you get the point. It's still good, it's still decent, but it's not a plane that I will aim people towards anymore. Which plane that is? It's probably going to be the BF-49 F4 from now on at rank 3, which is also just considerably cheaper. The firepower on this thing is of course great, and the high speed instantaneous turn just isn't as good anymore, and this really hampers it, because that's the thing that it really thrived on when it came to dogfighting. Now you really need to play it strategically, and otherwise you're probably going to find yourself going straight back to the hangar. Decal no longer in the description. And that's exactly what we're going to do. I tried to side climb a little bit to get over Mr. White Knight over here, and I'm going to dive underneath him and try to play for position that way. And it's going to work because the C205 isn't all that great when it comes to the instantaneous turn. That's a pretty good engine, but the turn time isn't all that. So I merge underneath him, I predict where he's going to go, I drop the landing flaps, and he just kind of floats straight into my guns. And the guns are of course what you expect. 250 cals, 2 A&M2s with 200 rounds per gun. And this is now the main selling point of the plane, and it's good at it. TU2 comes head on, tries to dodge. Never try to dodge in a bomber, because you are going to die. But enough throwaway footage to show you the graphs. Let's take a quick look at an actual full game. And this is actually the very first game I did in the plane, at least since the nerf. And I immediately kind of felt it, but I wasn't entirely sure what was wrong. It felt worse, but it didn't feel all that different. And the main thing that again got changed is the instantaneous turn. So it throws you off initially, and once it kind of settles in, it feels more or less the same. Yes, it's worse. Top speeds are slightly lower by like 5 kph. Acceleration is like 2 seconds slower to 300 kilometers an hour. It's all not major, but it's definitely there. Piece apart Mr. Dinak in the BF-49G, and then we notice the entire enemy team below us. Now I already know that the engine on this thing isn't all that great. No, it hasn't been changed actually, the engine itself I mean, but it already kind of struggled with maintaining energy when you are level or when you are below someone. So I want to really work my way top to bottom, just like you do in the classic prop sense. Merge with the J21, one of the saddest pieces of shit you can run into other than the guns. So we just go vertical, and he basically instantly falls out of the air. He tries to corkscrew down, he tries to dodge, but massive target, it's kind of slow, it's easy to hit, and he can't really maneuver out of the way. So we get kill number 2, and then we really work our way down to the deck. Mainly because I have some teammates around, I have a lot of strong enemies on the deck, and I need to get these guys out of the lobby. Missed the easiest shot in the world, LA7 rolls a little bit, and this thing compresses pretty badly, so I can't really follow him, so we just go straight vertical. Notice the Yak 3 coming in, but he is being engaged by someone else, so for now I'm just going to maintain my energy advantage and work my way onto draining their balls. The issue is that there is a lot of enemies around, and I need to dogfight this LA7 in the way that I'm doing right now, because if I break off to go for the other one, I am probably dead. So I try to line up my loop so I can merge with both of them at the same time. Works out pretty great, but now I'm dealing with two LA7s in the XP-55. That isn't as good as it used to be, and it already wasn't going to be winning any dogfights against them anytime soon. Kill the first one, merge upwards, kind of a sus shot there, and now we're stuck in a scissor. And this is something you don't want to be stuck in, because the roll rate isn't all that great. We need to go slower than him, but our sustained is pretty bad down there, and at low speed we can't really recover because our engine just isn't up to par. Luckily the LA7 is going a little bit too fast. I manage my speed well, I use the ground to my advantage. He breaks off and he flies straight through my guns, except I think I only hit the 50 cal. Luckily it was just enough to put Spectre into the tree. Now we need to disengage. There is a yak tree behind and above us. He is dogfighting someone else for the time being, so I am just going to be leaving the area and reclimbing for the time being to just solidify my position and engage the last group, who are all going to land. And there they are. And when you are in this kind of position, you can of course play the game. The issue is there is two yak trees and I believe a J2M, which are all pretty damn nasty to play against. So I go into the corkscrew here to bait the yak tree up. I know I'm not going to be winning this fight, but I'm trying to bait the other one up so I can dive on him and shoot him down. He doesn't quite take the bait. They are actually going to coordinate a little bit together. Luckily, my random teammate is doing the same. So I'm just going to be sitting above these guys for now. I'm going to wait for Mr. Oscar over there to come in and help me, because on my own, two yak trees, even with an energy advantage, are quite tough to beat. Go for the shot here, not quite line it up, compressing a little bit as well. Don't try to stick too long, it will drain my energy too much, and then I am probably completely toast. Push ahead on with the yak tree, just go vertical again, try to keep it as straight as possible. If you don't get cancelled by Twitter, you are moving your controls too much. Again, straight line, they are doing turns, they're doing 360s basically, it's gonna burn their speed away, and then my BF-49 comes in, who is actually going to be playing the game like he has two hands with opposable thumbs. So he goes vertical now, and I'm in a good position to dive on him again. The other yak tree notices this, and he is gonna peel off for a little bit, but this secludes his friend, and means that we can kind of 2v1 him. Now we don't have that much room, but it leaves the immediate threat out of the window, so we can actually just go for a shot. Notice the other one breaking off, notice him coming back, so we push a little head on and we go straight back into the vertical. The energy retention on this thing is surprisingly good. The issue is that once you are slow, they are gonna be slowly climbing up to you because they have just much more engine power. Try to jink the shot there, use the flaps a little bit. Bottom of my loop is the top of his, so we do have a good amount of energy here, and the BF-49 comes in exactly as planned, just as we get the guy super slow. The reason I picked that dogfight with a yak tree is because I have a teammate right next to me. I know I'm not going to be getting the shot, but I will be able to delay and bait him for long enough to allow my teammates an opportunity to shoot him down. J2M2, I mean, he just kind of bit off more than he could chew. He just climbed straight up to the BF-49 when I was right next to him, so not much to talk about right there. Tier 2 comes in, Mr. King Janardan, go head on, get a crit, dodge the head on, and that's kind of all she wrote, because well, his plane is already not feeling all too good, and we are gonna be snapping the Infinity Gauntlet. There goes his wingtip, there goes the fire, and then we just implode plane number 7. And then for some actual strategical gameplay, when not everything goes my way, we try to engage a Key 44. Now I wouldn't really go after him, but there's a teammate right there who is a little bit higher, so I thought I'll give chase, and if he doesn't go for me, the P63 gets on him, and if he goes for the P63, I get a pretty free shot. I merge with him for a little bit, try to drain some of his energy, but I'm not going to be winning that dogfight. I need to break off. I can't just blindly rely on random teammates because it's not gonna work out all too well very often. So for now, I'm just gonna run away and keep the P63 on his 6 so that I can disengage freely. I have a little bit more speed for now. It's not an immediate threat because I have the P63 behind him, but if he gets bored and dives to the deck, the Key-44, if he wants to focus me, is going to blow my shit smooth off. For now, he looks to be interested, so I'm gonna keep him kind of on the leash, try to bait him up a little bit, try to turn a little bit to get the P63 closer and make sure that he doesn't get too bored. But the Key-44 plays it correctly and he just kind of disengages and leaves me alone with the rest of his team. So we are now gonna sit right above everyone, and the Yak-3 is going to take immediate priority, but he's maneuvering a little bit too much and the A6M is not, so we just kind of rudder flick to the right and completely implode his balls. Key-44 comes back. He is definitely going to be pushing for me now. The way he has been recommitting to me just indicates to me that he is going to be an absolute pain in the dick, and you can tell that I'm taking a little bit more damage than usual. There's two reasons for this. I need to be a little bit more aggressive, because if I'm not, I'm gonna be losing the fight. And the plane is actually pretty durable, as long as you don't get hit from behind straight in the engine. Merge with the Yak-3, Key-44 is coming up as well. Both of them are going pretty slow, so I feel pretty confident in just going up here. And then we just cut the throttle for a little bit to also flip over, which this plane doesn't really do unless you're perfectly hammerhead, but also to cool the engine. Red hot temps, sounding like fucking Scooby-Doo over here. You get the point. I need to cool the engine. I'm in a dive, they are below me, so I throttle down for a little bit, get the engine temps back into the white, and then we give chase again. Without web, we are in a slight dive, and I don't need all the energy in the world, I just need enough to kill these two guys. Yak-3 gets pieced apart by the P63. P63 then runs down the Key-44. The Key-44 does a little trick he learned, and except it's historically accurate, and 30 mils actually kill you when you get hit in the chest. Then turn around, SM-92, crit him in the head-on, he instantly dies. Then we dive underneath the I-185, who just killed my friendly, and, well, I'm not sure what this maneuver is called, other than just straight up trolling. I can't even comment on this. I'm not really sure what he did. Try to turn into one direction if you're watching this, if you don't want to get one tap straight in the back of the skull. Another match here, it's a little bit more fast-paced, and the chat is actually a pretty good riot. Going on with the BF-109, severe him out of the air, and then we pitch up straight into the Yak-3. I really needed that head on the kill, because now I can actually focus on this guy. I have a little bit more energy, and the way I merge means that I'm gonna be planted straight onto his 6. Now if I miss this shot here, the chances of me winning are pretty slim, but the chances of me missing in this kind of engagement are also pretty slim, because I'm straight behind him, he's pretty slow, and he is also pretty close. Down goes the Yak-3, and we dive straight back down to the deck. And mainly, I want this A6M3 out of the lobby, because right now we are going plenty fast. He is below us, and we are in a great position to just energy trap this guy all day long. And I don't want to deal with this guy when I'm dealing with someone else. Planes like the Zeros are very annoying in planes like this, because they just instantly counter you if there's a plane that is faster than you. And there's a lot of planes that are faster than you. Trying to line it up, he fortunately rolls back into my guns. Hold the trigger down, there goes his wing. BF-109 right next to us, and that's the next target on the list after the A6M flies into the trees. BF-109 is not really a threat. I mean, he's being engaged by multiple people. That's Yak-3 on a 6, he only has one wing. And luckily there's severe damage now, so I don't have to feel bad about just downing this guy straight into his skull. And then we get the dogfight of the century. This was a pretty good riot as well. We have Mr. Spoin over here in his Lancaster, and I'm riling him up in chat as I try to do, but afterwards we of course made up and we just had a bit of a laugh about it. If you're watching this, thank you for the meme. I really enjoy fights and chats like this. This is the reason why Water to me can be kind of fun, and it's not because I get the club a bomber. I know I'm supposed to win this. It's not about the fight. I just like the interaction that Water sometimes brings with it. I try to stay underneath him. He doesn't have the best gunner there, and he has less coverage. So I'm just gonna try to stay right underneath, and then we pitch straight up, and try to disassemble his plane. He tries to knife edge it. A for effort, except, well, these guns just kind of rip through your entire plane. And they do a whole lot of damage. I set him on fire and I expected him to put it out. And, well, of course he did. So we're just gonna dive underneath him again. And this time it's really quite easy to kill him. He's severely damaged. He really isn't enjoying this. And I'm just gonna stay underneath him. Luckily for him, he still has a gunner on the tail. But I just kind of periodically try to pitch in and try to get some pot shots. Makes it harder for him to aim at me. But it's also very annoying for me. So we just go underneath him again. Try to get away from that rear gunner. And then we just take his plane apart and dome his pilot. A little bit later, after some climbing, the G5N is now above us. And we're gonna do the same thing, basically. But because of the leak, the engine damage and the lack of ammo that I have, I'm just gonna pitch up and spray straight into him and hope for the best. Get some hits, don't really do any damage at all. Miss the last shots, recorrect the aim, and just keep hosing this guy down. And eventually, he's gonna feel just like Spider-Man again, and he is going to just disintegrate. But it's gonna take a little bit. But I still have 42 cannon rounds, which should be more than enough. And that's basically all I have for you today. I'm a little bit busy right now, so Atomic Thunder is not quite on the table. You might have seen a community post. Once I get around playing it, I might go back and cover it nonetheless, as long as I make the event in time. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.